You just tuned it in.
Global and worldwide.
Hitting you on the one with no delay. Because it's the fighter's voice.
The Fighter's Voice.
With your fighting host, Richard Ortiz.
And the formidable co-host,
Mr. Cole Escobedo. Remember, every fighter has a voice.
Live, Fresno, California, the Fighter's Voice, the only voice that matters, and we're knocking out the competition. The Fighter's Voice radio show in studio, our guest today. And I use this sometimes, but this is very well deserved. The man, the myth, the legend, the one, the only Hall of Famer goes to his sleep. He's the one who's putting together all the fights when we're just dreaming of them. He's making it happen, and that's the one, the only from Top Rank Boxing's own matchmaker since 1983, Mr. Brad Goodman. Welcome to the show, my man.
I appreciate it, Richard. Thank you very much.
We finally have you here, my man.
Well, you got me here.
I got you here. I got you here. You got the best job in the world, man. I mean, you get to just put everything together.
It's hard work, but you know, luckily I enjoy it, and that's what makes it so good.
Well, I mean, you're being humble because a lot of people can enjoy things, but you're good at it. The best at it.
I don't know. I mean, if that's what you guys think, or
hey, man.
what,
Hey,
know.
there's no.
I just
complaints
plug
here.
away. I plug away. I enjoy what I do. I like getting guys, you know, from scratch, building them up. It's like getting a little baby and watching somebody grow and see how far you can take somebody, and if they can go to that level and, you know, succeed, it just makes it even more enjoyable.
Let's just jump right into it. What got you involved in the sport of boxing?
Well, my father, he had a friend that was very good friends with Bob Arum's, my father's, I'm trying to think, it was my father's friend who was the lawyer of Bob Arum's best friend. At that time, his name was Stan Hoffman.
Okay.
He was a manager, he had some fighters, James Broad, he was a heavyweight, Joe Manley. This was back in the early 80s. And one thing led to the next where, you know, the guy said, you know, we have a guy that likes boxing, and you know, it started out where I went over there and I had a summer job, and I decided, you know, to just keep sticking around. I didn't want to go, you know, to...
Something you wanted to be a part of.
I wanted to be a part of. I didn't want to go to college or anything like that because I didn't have any interest in pursuing anything other than boxing. And I never had any desire with boxing as far as being a promoter or anything like that. I always wanted to be a matchmaker. I always had that in my blood, just being a matchmaker, nothing else, nothing at all, no promotion,
Wow.
managing.
There was
nothing.
no plan B. It was plan A from the get-go.
Always wanted to be a matchmaker. Why, I have no
You
idea.
dove in, no safety net,
Yeah,
nothing.
and when I started, it wasn't even like that. I was just doing clerical work. I was working with a guy who was a Hall of Famer, Irving Rudd. He did the publicity for Top Rank. At
First
that time.
publicist inducted in the Hall of Fame. Lee
Yeah.
Samuels followed him.
Exactly.
Okay.
And I just was hanging out with him, doing this stuff. But I would always end up in the matchmaker's office with Bruce Trampler and Teddy Brown.
Those are some legendary names.
The best.
Mhm.
You know, Teddy was the greatest ever. Bruce, in my opinion, the best. You know, I owe everything to Bruce Trampler. He's done everything for me. And without him, I wouldn't even be in the position that I am in today. And here I am as a little kid. These guys are, you know, on the phone, you know, making fights, and I would just keep my mouth shut and listen and sit on the couch in the office and just listen to how they would do things.
Absorbed it all like a sponge.
Yeah. And
Exactly.
as time went on, Bruce eventually, the company moved out to Vegas in '88. Company stayed till '93, and Ron Katz came to the office with Teddy Brenner, and I was working with those guys and stuff. And then I came out in '99, but there was a gap between '93 and '99 where I managed a fighter, Murky Sosa.
Okay.
Dominican fighter that fought for the title. He fought Michael Nunn, fought Roy Jones.
Michael second to none.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fought Roy Jones on HBO one time. You know, he was a solid opponent.
Yeah.
But my whole life I've always been around the game.
You know, what does it take to be a matchmaker? These are some of the questions. And this one's coming from Richard Goodman, who's actually the matchmaker from Tachi Palace Fights. And he matchmakes professional MMA fights. And man, he was just racing to want to be here and just pick your brain. What does it take to be a matchmaker?
I think, you know, first you have to, you know, enjoy the sport.
Yeah.
Watch it as a fan. Also think as a fan. Not just protect the guy, but think as a fan, you know, what you would like to see. And I think that's where it all starts. But when you have guys under a promotion, it makes it much harder.
Yeah.
So much easier, you know, when you're just working on a club show.
Yeah.
And there's no big investment that's involved where you have to really protect the guy and you can just put a regular fight on. That's the easiest. But then when you have a promotion and you have to protect guys, it makes it much harder because fans, they want to just see rock'em sock'em robots, and they just, you know, want to see blood, guts, you know, everything going, and that's hard because you just can't do that.
And it's hard to predict that too. How do you feel as a matchmaker when you just see the crowd just going crazy, the fans going crazy? These guys are just evenly matched and they live up to all the expectation. I know you must at least look around and say, man.
You feel great.
Yeah.
You feel great. But
Yeah.
then there's plenty of times where
Yeah.
the fight is horrible.
Yeah.
And it humbles you a little bit. And
Yeah.
you just have to realize that, you know, you get your good and you get your bad.
How many times do you get approached and say, hey, let's get fighter A to fight fighter B, and they're in different networks? And you got to tell them.
Now,
yes.
it's very, very hard.
Yeah.
It's very hard because you have basically, you know, I would say maybe 4 top-notch promoters,
Yeah.
which is Top Rank, Heyman with PBC, Eddie Hearn with DAZN, and Oscar, you know, now
Yeah.
with DAZN as well. It's very hard. You can't, you know, really match them. I mean, you can every now and then, but it's very hard. It's not like it was years ago.
I mean, I would love to be in that meeting when you and Bob just say, you know what, we got to make this fight happen.
Well, I'm not in those meetings.
Oh, okay.
Those are the bigger guys.
Those are the ones.
Yeah.
That's the Don himself, Bob Arum.
Exactly. You know, Bob and Todd and Carl and Brad Jacobs, those guys. But, you know, me and Bruce, we get them to the level, the fighters to that
Yeah.
level. And then when they reach that level, then it's basically really Bob and Todd and the network, ESPN, you know, choosing, you know, what it really is. They'll ask us our advice, you know,
Yeah.
what we think of a fight and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's really them at the end of the day.
Exactly. You know, and I understand that. That's that next level stuff. That's that behind the scenes that where the door is closed. You know, there's art taking place.
Sure.
It's like a Picasso.
Yeah.
I mean, you can leave the rooms all white. When you come back, it's all Picasso when you come in because you know something special was done behind that room.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, that's awesome. I mean, just being a part of that and saying you're affiliated with that, knowing that you're affiliated with the strongest, we'll say the best company in the world.
Yeah.
And it continues to grow, continues to get followers.
It makes you feel great. I mean, you know, the greatest thing is like I said, when you get a kid from scratch and you build them all the way to a certain level and they get to that level and they win a title, it's the greatest feeling in the world.
Yes, it must be. And when you say that young kid, you know what comes to mind for me personally is Fresno's own Isidro Cho.
Sure. You know, it's going to take a while, obviously. I mean, he only has a couple fights and stuff like that. But he could be, you know, he's that future. He's that guy. Him or Brian Lua. Those guys, you know.
Yeah. I like Gabriel Flores Jr.
He's another kid. Absolutely. He's on his way.
Yeah. You know, when I think of him, I always think to myself as, man, he hasn't even grown into his man strength yet.
He's a baby.
He's a baby.
And imagine just in 2-3 more years, once
Yes.
he gets that man strength, he's going to be dangerous.
Especially that little, when he slips, that little short right hand.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay?
I can see
No,
that.
we have high hopes for him.
Yeah, no, he's an exciting fight and a fighter, and he comes from a good training camp, man. I mean, a lot of father and sons, they don't work. They cannot work it out. But
Yeah.
this tandem seems to work great
Absolutely,
right now.
yeah.
Right now, and there's a
Yeah.
lot of respect and there's hard work at the end of the day.
Yeah, and the father has a great eye for talent. He knows what he's doing. I have a lot of respect for Senior.
Yeah, you know, I'm most excited about Andy Benson's back in the ring.
Vences is another guy that we're very high on. He's a guy that
Blue collar.
and when I spoke to him earlier today at the weigh-in, right before the weigh-in, I
Yeah.
said, don't worry about what other guys are doing, who's fighting for a world title, this and that. Don't worry about that. Worry about yourself. Worry about tomorrow night. All it can take is one more fight, and then you may be in the mix to be fighting for a world title.
Exactly, like Avenal's own, man. We call him the Avenal kid, but Fresno adopted him, and that's Jose Ramirez. And we're talking about a champion inside of the ring and an
outside.
undisputed champion outside of the ring.
Sensational guy.
I mean,
Sensational.
the sport needs more Jose Ramirez's, honestly.
No question about it.
Honestly.
No question. I mean, him, Manny, Rick, what they've done for this city and the whole town, it's amazing.
It is, it is. And you know, sky's the limit, man. And the guy works hard. I've been through his training camps. He doesn't, in football you would say, okay, he took a play off. You know, he kind of dogged on this, but I've never seen Jose take anything off. As far as, you know, okay, I'm gonna dog it right now. It's 100% to the end. He gives it his all.
And I've been to his camps, you know, and being now with Robert Garcia in Riverside, it's
Letting those hands go.
sensational. It's
Yes.
the best he's ever been. He's happy. He has a clear mind.
That's a great fit.
Absolutely. And
Is it-
Robert's sensational. Has the great sparring for him. And he's happy.
That's not sparring. That was absolute fighting. We actually
Yeah.
went up there. We broadcasted up there, and he said, "Rich, look," and these guys were just going at it.
Has everybody, all the sparring. He has Vargas, he has Bauza, he has this guy, that
Ortiz,
guy.
Virgil Ortiz was there.
Virgil, it's
Yeah.
sensational. It's tremendous sparring. We go out there just to go out there, to drive out there just for the day, just to watch the sparring.
I go out there to see Bam Bam spar and also to hear his one-liners. My gosh.
That's why we go out there for the one-liners. Bam Bam's great. We
Oh,
love Bam Bam.
he's great. He's
Yeah.
great. We went down there one time, and there's only one restroom there. And there was a woman that went in the restroom, and he didn't know how to, like, hey, you know, get around. He's knocking on the door, and he finally goes, "Caw, caw, caw," and she answered, "Caw, caw." So I mean,
Yeah.
I guess that it is what it is. He was
Yeah.
just great, man. He was fun, and then we put him on the show, and he was such a gentleman. He knew when to turn it on and be that professional.
He's a great guy.
Robert's a great guy.
We know him all well.
He said,
For
"Richard,
years.
whatever you need in here."
Yeah, for years we know him. They're great. Mikey.
Oh my God, yeah. class act.
Mikey's the best. To this day we're still friends. Great guy.
Yeah.
Great fighter.
Let's talk about that fight. I mean, that's a tough one. That's a very tough one. But as a fighter, you don't turn down a fight.
You know.
And he's gonna strap it on, put his mouthpiece on, and just let it go.
He's very confident, and if anybody that can do it, Mikey Garcia is that guy.
Exactly. How do you tell an undefeated fighter that has never lost that, hey, you don't have a chance here? He only knows one way, and that's
It's hard.
him.
It's very hard. He doesn't know how to lose. He's going out there to win. He has a great team behind him. They're all confident. He has great sparring. Wouldn't shock me one bit.
No.
I'm pulling for him.
Absolutely. So am I.
You know, yeah.
So am I. I like what you said. Doesn't know how to lose.
Yeah.
I like that.
And I'll tell you, what people don't realize is what a tremendous puncher he is. People don't realize that.
Mhm.
You know, they say, oh, well, you know, he didn't knock out Robert Easter, he didn't knock out Lipinets and stuff. He's a much better puncher than people make him, that people don't give him credit for.
Well,
That guy can punch.
We shall see, and that's going to be around the corner.
Yeah.
But as far as what we know, this gentleman can punch, especially to the body. What can we expect tomorrow? Jose Ramirez, man, when he gets inside that ring. Beautiful matchup as well, too, with the lefties.
It's a great
Southpaw.
matchup. But what you can expect from Jose from round one, consistent pressure, non-stop,
Non-stop.
until that guy eventually falls.
Exactly.
But it's going to be a fight.
Absolutely.
I mean, Zepeda is a very competent guy, knows what he's doing. He had that one little setback, you know, in England, you know, when his shoulder came out, you know, it was a fluke type kind of thing. But You know, I think he's learned from it. He's gained some experience. He's a very capable guy, you know, and I think the team and Jose, I think they know, you know, what they're in for.
Yeah.
But with Jose, you know, winning a world title, beating Amir Rahman, and being in that great fight with Orozco, and
Oh, that was a great fight.
Yeah.
Orozco's a tough guy.
yeah, it rose his levels even higher, and it's going to make him a much better fight, especially the Amir Rahman fight. I mean, we were so nervous with that
That
fight.
right hand. I was nervous because he can plug that right hand, and I was a little concerned the first 3 rounds. I go, come on, man.
I was
I didn't
nervous.
understand the game plan, honestly, personally, on the first 3 rounds.
And I just, for that whole week, and Jose can tell you, that whole week when we were eating lunch and stuff, I said, Jose, just stick to the game plan.
Yeah.
Don't get over anxious. Just follow the game plan. If he hits you, don't get reckless. Because, you know, a lot of times when fighters get hit.
Evander Holyfield, he gets it. He wants to return it right now. There's
Exactly.
plenty in the round to get him.
I said, forget about it. Just keep following the game plan. Yeah. You know, and you'd think it goes in one ear and out the other, you know?
Yeah.
But he did what he had to do. But I was nervous the whole way. And that fight made him a 10 times better fighter.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why, you know, he beat Orozco the way he beat him. And that was a hell of a fight. That was a tough fight, you know, for both kids. And,
He
you know,
earned that world title with that fight, with that performance.
no question about it.
There's been nothing given to him except opportunity, and he grabs it and he explodes it.
Absolutely. And he's the kind of guy that will fight anybody. You know, he doesn't turn down anybody.
I want to hear those conversations. So who has he said, hey, I want to fight this guy next? What are some of the names?
Fighters will fight anybody. Fighters aren't scared. The ones that are scared are the promoters, the matchmakers, the managers.
The investors.
Of course.
Yeah.
Fighters will fight anybody. Jose will fight anybody. Won't turn down anybody.
You know, you see him, you just see this nice guy, this kind of, and you just see it start to change as the media day, the press conference, and today he was an animal. I mean, he looks like helter-skelter, man. Those eyes, when you look into him, he's a different person inside the ring. Most fighters are, but you see Jose, and he's such a nice guy, soft guy, giving guy.
Yeah.
Giving guy. He'll give you literally the shirt off his back. And say, here.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
That's
he's
the
a very
kind
kind
of
person.
That's the kind of guy he is. I mean, he's a tremendous guy.
Yeah. I bet he's fun to work with, huh? Just someone with that
Easy,
personality.
easy. I mean, listen, that whole crew around them, with Rick and Manny and they're just great people. I can't say anything bad about them. They're just great.
He has a good team around him.
Yeah.
He has a
Really does.
supporting cast, and he's working with a great company. I want to ask you this.
Mhm.
Rick put this thing together, and I know it's dear to his heart. You know, cancer awareness coming in tomorrow, and you know, it's just the fight isn't just in the ring; it's outside of the ring as well. And Fresno coming together as a whole, ESPN, Top Rank, yourself. There's something special happening other than, I mean, it's bigger than boxing. What's your whole take on that?
I don't really know what's going on with that and stuff, but whatever it is, I'm a supporter in that thing
Yeah.
because, you know, my dad passed away from that, and whatever I have to do, you know, to support it, I will.
Yeah.
But I don't really know what's going on with that whole thing.
Yeah.
I stay out of that whole thing.
Yeah. You know, I had a guy, he texted me right now. He said, make sure you ask Brad to make room for him next time on the plane when you go into a fight. And that's coming from your neighbor, Manny Metz.
Oh yeah, that's my guy, Manny. Yeah.
Yeah. He goes, you gonna have him on there? Oh my God, he starts laughing. He's throwing me all these questions. Ask him that. I go, no, I can't ask him that one. And
Yeah.
he starts laughing. You know, he says he always sees you at the gym. And
Seen him at the gym, and I
yeah.
saw him. The last time I saw him was at the supermarket at Albertsons. I saw him.
Okay, good.
That's
Yeah.
my guy, Manny.
No, yeah, he's cool people, man.
Yeah.
Very, very nice guy. I was kind of hoping he would make the trip because I wanted to bring him here. I've done some work with him. He would do some photography. We did some collaborations, some things.
Yeah.
But love Manny, man. He's outgoing,
Good man.
giving guy. Yes, absolutely. So, what's your whole take on Jose someday maybe fighting at the MGM Grand, and maybe I was here in Philippines. I heard different events where if everything's successful this time, I mean we can embrace him here in Fresno, but let's not get used to it because he's looking at bigger events. Where can we see him in the future?
It could possibly, you know, the MGM. I haven't heard the Philippines or anything like that. But I guess, you know, wherever ESPN,
Yeah.
wants to take us and stuff like that. But I mean, I can definitely see him fighting at the MGM. or, you know, big places like
Yeah.
that. You know, that's, you know, he's capable of, you know, fighting in places there.
I'm going to ask the most asked question that was brought to me. How did he do against Crawford?
Well, I would think obviously you would have to take a couple fights at, you know, 147 first just
Yeah.
to, you know, get a feel for
Yeah.
that weight and stuff. But Crawford's a hell of a fighter.
That's a different animal.
Sure.
That's a different animal. And to know, as a fighter, to know yourself, okay, I'm going to avoid this guy. When I would coach soccer, I would say, I'm avoiding this team until Sunday. Then we'll match up. But when you got to say, I'm not ready to avoid him. I'm confident that I'm not here just to fight him. I'm here to win.
That's Jose's competitiveness.
Yes.
He wants to fight the best. If Lomachenko moved up to 40, or even if Jose's the kind of guy that would, if you told him you have to weigh 35, he'd be willing to go down to 35.
Wow.
That's just the kind of guy Jose
Yeah.
is. I mean, he's a competitor. He wants to fight the best.
He's just not easy to promote. He's fun to promote.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, talking about this, you're like a kid in a candy store, man. What's your dream matchup of the fighter today as opposed to matching with the fighter from yesterday?
My dream matchup
Yes,
for
yes,
today?
absolutely. Yes. A fighter from today. Matching him up with, with like a
from-
Roberto Duran or against a Mayweather. And I don't want to throw it out there. I'm going to let you decide. Take a couple of them.
Just thinking right now, right now I'm thinking I would say Lomachenko at 130 versus Mayweather at 130.
Okay.
Crawford at 147. Versus Leonard at 147.
Ooh. Bob Arum did compare the two.
Yeah.
Wow, that'd be a great fight right there.
Yeah. But there's other ones. I mean,
Yeah.
like, listen, when I leave here, I'll go in the car and I'll start thinking of something. I got it. I should have said something like that, you know, another fight.
Yeah.
There's so many fights you just think about.
I would like to see Roberto Duran and Julio Cesar Chavez Sr.
Yeah.
Maybe 147s.
Yeah.
I mean, that would.
I was a big Duran fan. I loved Duran.
That guy's mean.
Yeah. I loved Duran.
He's mean. He was a bully.
Yeah.
Outside the ring, he's a soft guy, man.
Yeah.
Very nice. But now you talk about mean intimidation. That whole, man, he was just made a little different, man. That's a whole different DNA, man. That's a whole different making of a man.
He was brutal, man.
Yes, exactly. Brutal. Today's fighters, how do you compare today's fighters to yesterday's fighters as far as them? Because back in the day, a lot of people will say, Richard, well, they don't fight each other. And as a fan, that's all they see. It's not that, a lot of times it's not that. It's the WBA or WBO or IBF or different networks. It's hard to make these fights. You know, it's not.
Well, the politics.
We're trying to, exactly, the politics.
Politics
the governing
now.
bodies that be as well.
Politics now are killing everything. Networks. Fighters of today, I would say, physically they're stronger.
Yeah.
Technically, I think the fighters back then were better. I think they had better trainers. They were taught, the trainers were better. They taught the fighters better technique and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Fighters today, they're just, physically, they're bigger. Physically, they're bigger than what they were back then, and stronger. But the technique, I don't think, has gotten any better.
How would Sugar Ray Robinson do today?
Believe it or not, I really started following the boxing in '77. I saw a little bit of some
great footwork.
Yeah. I mean, I seen him and stuff
Yeah.
like that, but I wasn't like a Ray Robinson type kind of guy. I was an Ernie Shavers guy.
Big hands.
Yeah.
Big hands.
Yeah. He was my favorite. Him.
Also with the white shorts with the kind of, I'm not sure
He
what
was
brand
blue.
it was.
He had blue with white trim.
Yeah.
That was my first fight I went to, him against Ali. Shavers
Wow.
and Ali, that was my
Yeah.
first fight. Him and Mike McCallum were my two favorite fighters.
Body snatcher?
I love the body snatcher. That was my
Man.
favorite.
Yeah, no, he was fun. He was fun. Remember him and Curry?
Yep.
Oh my before he hit the ground.
Yep.
Everybody was shocked.
Beautiful left hook.
Yes, because I think they were trying to, Curry, Leonard, they were trying to, it was up for discussion. Body Snatcher said, I got different plans.
Yeah.
Came out of nowhere.
If he had that opportunity to fight the Leonards of the world, or he was supposed to fight Durant.
Yes.
And they gave Hearns that opportunity. He was with Kronk at that time, McCallum.
Yes, he was, Emmanuel Stewart.
He was with Emmanuel Stewart, and they were supposed to fight Durant. He was Durant's mandatory.
He never wore the Kronk shorts, though. He wore the dark ones. A couple times.
No, but he wasn't with Kronk at that time.
Oh, okay.
Obviously,
Okay.
when he fought Curry, he
Yeah.
wasn't with Kronk.
Yeah.
But at one time, he was with Kronk, and he was Durant's mandatory. But he didn't have that name.
Yeah.
And they decided to put Hearns in with Durant instead, and that's what,
And that's what you
it really affected his, I shouldn't say affected him, but the name recognition.
Yeah.
Him beating Durant, it would have catapulted him to
absolutely.
another level, and it just didn't.
You know what? I know you got to run. I know you got a lot to do, and you took time out of your busy schedule. And we've talked a couple times on the phone as far as texting. Hey, got to get you on the show, man. What's your whole take on the Fighter's Voice Knockout Radio Show, man? We give you a platform, man.
I think it's great. I love it. I want to come back.
Good. I'm going to have you back. I got to throw this at you. I'm going to roll the dice on this. How does this sound to you? Top Rank Radio featuring the Fighter's Voice.
I like it.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Hey, man, you got to reach for the stars, man. I'm not here to reach for the shoelaces. I'm reaching for the stars.
Reach for the stars, absolutely.
Reach for the stars, man. Talking about reaching for the stars, man. I want you to let all the viewers and listeners know what it takes to be a matchmaker, how to hold that position, and the future looks bright in matchmaking with Top Rank Boxing.
Just, follow your dreams and get lucky, and with a promotion that will hire you, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, you are a raw interview. Rick said, man, hey, he'll come at you this way. He goes, don't put him in the corner because he'll fight his way out of there. I like that, though. That's who you are.
That's just me, man.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
That's what Manny said. Manny goes, I see a different side of him, man. Ask him. I go, bro, I'm not going to ask him all these questions. He goes, and he started laughing. He goes, tell him Manny said that. I go, okay, well, we'll wait for that one right there, man. So you can give Manny a hard time to see him back.
Like I said, man, I got lucky, man. I really did. I got lucky. Bruce gave me that opportunity of a lifetime, to be in the position that I'm in.
You're holding it down.
And that's what I said. I mean, somebody else could be lucky like me, and all my success or whatever is because of Bruce.
You know what? I'm going to change the term luck because I really don't believe in luck. You are blessed, my man.
My blood, yeah.
You are
But
blessed.
Bruce blessed me.
Gave you the opportunity, and you're holding on to that opportunity. And you keep defending your title after fight after fight after fight, because you can have the position and lose it. You have it, you're embracing it, and man, the best is yet to come. And I just feel that the best is it's getting ready just to go over the top.
We're all excited at Top Rank with this ESPN deal. It's only going to get bigger and better.
That's huge.
Yeah.
That's huge. Our co-host, he had to leave because he has another job. Co Escovedo, UFC veteran. He's very excited about that collaboration. He said, man, it's going to blow up. It's going to take off completely. And it is.
That's great.
It is, man.
Yeah.
It is. Hey, you know what? The Fighter's Voice Knockout Radio Show. We have the opportunity here with having the legend here in studio, man. Took time out here in Fresno, California. The traffic that's coming in here now. Remember, every fighter has a voice, and so do you. And we mean that completely. We give you the platform. If you're fighting for your life, you're fighting for cancer, you're fighting for your marriage, you're fighting for the opportunity to be heard, you don't need to get your hands wrapped or put a mouthpiece in to be a fighter. Remember, every fighter has a voice, and so do you. Rich Ortiz, your co-host, the host with the most, and the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Brad Goodman. Take us out and say farewell.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it all.
Dedicate the show to Richie. Thumbs up for Richie.
Never down for the count. It's just another wrap. Thanks for listening to the Fighter's Voice Radio Show. Catch us again next week.
Same when, same how.
And always stay connected to the Fighter's Voice on social media. So, on behalf of Richard Ortiz, Cole Escovedo, our special guests, and the whole crew right here at the Fighter's Voice Radio Show, saying see ya next week, right here on the Fighter's Voice.